Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I put my money where my mouth was. I reached top 100 in the Global World League. I'm currently 94th, and I will try to keep it up, stay in top 100. And let's go. Let's go and do some changes to our teams for the quarterfinals. I already did some preliminary transfers. I try to make them, and I'm gonna settle on one or two strategies. Of course, gonna remove some of the players. So I have two options. First one is to just remove those five players that I still have left because I used this proper strategy of anchors in Spain, France, Argentina, and England, and some bridges that ended up being Belgium or Morocco, Belgium and Morocco. In my case, for you, maybe those bridges were, for example, Switzerland or Norway. Although I had a couple of Brazilian players, they were supposed to be my bridge. But, as I said, if you use this strategy, you're going to end up with just the right amount of transfers. And I have five transfers. But what I'm thinking is, okay, first I have this strategy where I can just remove the five players that I have, and then I'm gonna try and fill them out by position. So I have goalies. What is the important thing now is I well, you would not like to take two goalies from the same side of the bracket. If you have Unai Simon and Mignon, for example, or say Kobel, Nieland, or whatever, they're just going to play each other in the semifinals, presumably, if they both pass. So you can just use one of those. So you're either going to have one goalie from one part of the bracket and then the second goalie from the second part of the bracket. So don't take Simon and Mignon. Don't take Pickford and Kobel or something like that because they're both on the same side of the bracket. You're not gonna have them then in semis. So you just wasted your transfer now for the next phase. So either for example, I'm gonna take Unai Simon, and then for example, I would need to take Kobel, Nilan, Pickford, or Enzo Martinez, which are all very expensive. Uh, in four goalkeepers, so none of the goalkeepers that are valued less than 5 million progressed. So I'm thinking maybe of applying the second strategy where I'm gonna keep one of my goalkeepers that crashed out of the tournament in the squad because they just want to use maybe one goalkeeper because a goalkeeper is a specific position where you can just start in the starting lineup just one of those players. For example, in the last round, I had Shobir from Egypt, 10 points, and then Vargas from Colombia, 8 points. But I couldn't transfer in Vargas after Shobir had this spectacular match against Argentina. But if it were in defense or in attack or in midfield, I could keep Shobir with fantastic performance. I could keep put Vargas instead of someone who had underwhelming game before that, which a lot of people did with Colombian and Swiss players, got a lot of points for clean sheets, etc. But you cannot do that with your goalies. So, for example, if I have Unai Simon and then I have Dibu Martinez or I have Pickford or whatever, and Unai Simon has a clean sheet, I I just wasted Martinez or Pickford or Nyland or Kobel. They're just gonna stay on the bench, and I spent more than 5 million, and I spent one transfer. So maybe in that case, I'm gonna risk it. Yeah, maybe Simon, doesn't have a clean sheet, could end up with just 2 or 3 points, but maybe that the same thing happened to Pickford or to Martinez or to Nyland. So I just my second line of thinking is just to keep Vargas and maybe remove Hakimi, who is good, but he doesn't have a good match. Doesn't have a good match. He's always going to perform. I'm just thinking because of the price, 8.3, and he's probably going to lose against France, and he's probably not going to keep a clean sheet against France. So, some of those points are not going to stand. But on the other hand, he can get an assist or even a goal. It could be risky, but it could be some strategy where I just keep Vargas, take Unai Simon, and then instead of Hakimi, someone. I buy someone that is Someone that is not that expensive, and maybe risk, maybe go full in on Spain, all in on Spain, maybe wrap it up even deeper for France. Let's see if I take Pirella is just too expensive. Maybe Pedro Porro, but I'm not sure if he's gonna play against Belgium, who has such a good wingers in Trossard, Toku, Lukebakio, whoever plays. Maybe Llorente is gonna start, and then they're gonna see what will happen, and then put Porro in. I'm not sure. Kobaris is to 6.5. They're very expensive, but the French defense is also very expensive. Maybe to try for Romero. I already have Lisandro Martinez, but without Manzambi, Swiss team knows how to defend. They're very organized, but maybe they're not gonna score. But still, the Argentine defense should have, their hands full with Nadoy and Bolo, Vargas. So could be interesting pick. Then instead of Vini, I was thinking of Yamal, but Yamal just didn't have that breakout game. But and he's facing mm, Belgium that has mediocre defense at the best. They would certainly concede, and Yamal is there in contention for goals and assists, and key passes and dribbles and duels won. He's a very interesting player in that regard, but he just came after an injury this tournament. Okay, let's see. So it's very interesting. We just hit 19 points. Okay, 19 points. He didn't play basically, he didn't play many minutes, and he had a very tough match against Nuno Mendes versus Portugal. So my dilemma is either Yamal or maybe to take Bellingham and then just go to something else in attack. Maybe risk it with Odegaard. He's 8 million. Maybe just go for save points in Rodri 7.5 or Jaka 7.1. Those are the players that don't have a high ceiling. They're probably not going to score. The Jaka is on penalties with Switzerland, and Rodri is known to score. So maybe he's also in for his breakout goal. So those are very interesting choices in that regard because they're gonna get you these 5, 6, 7 points for sure, but probably not more than these 6, 7 points, but also not less. So because I'm already top 100, maybe then I'm gonna go for like Rodri or Jaka, or try my luck with Olmo, who is also due for some attacking returns. And he's cheaper, but I would rather have Yamal, but let's go for Olmo for now. And then the other guy in midfield just simply must be Bellingham, Jude Bellingham, who is again playing at that spot that he had in Real Madrid 2 years ago when he scored, vast amount of goals and had a lot of assists, played like really, really great season in Real Madrid, opposed to this season when he played differently. And now in England, he's back, he's playing that role that he knows well, that he's just fantastic player at that role, worth 200 million euros. And then I still have like 10.7 left in attack. And this just, Erling Haaland is looking at me. I had him before this round. I transferred him out. If you remember, I told you he's probably going to score against Gabriel. He scored in the last match, City Arsenal. He scored a couple of times on Gabriel. He will probably score, but I expected he will score one goal and then don't have anything else. So maybe end up with like 6, 7 points. That I decided to risk, take Hakimi instead of him. And yeah, Hakimi was also fantastic, but then and he gave me more money to go to some other positions. But I think Haaland is just in such a great form, and he was also great in duels against the Brazilian very very good center backs. I think they have even better center backs in that regard than England. Although England overall as a team has a better organization and defense. But yeah, you just must go for. I mean, I don't have enough in my bank to go for Harry Kane. So I think I'm gonna go for Erling Haaland. So You know, that would be my team. Possibly, this is one alternative that maybe I'm gonna go with. I'll see what happens if I transfer out Vargas. I don't have enough fund. Maybe I'm gonna be able to create some other team with this. But this is my thinking so far. We still have around like 6 hours till the deadline. I'm gonna think more, go into that team news, team predicted lineups, think about it a bit more. But that's it. Uh, you know, for now, for me. Um, I still hope that my tactics hold, my strategy for transfers hold. I'm betting that at least 3 out of 4 these anchor teams will progress to the next round. But even if they don't, I still have 5 transfers after the semis to fill out the entire team properly for finals and the third place match. Okay, so we can go a little bit. We can go a little bit into analytics. So the finals odds. Now we came to the finals odds. France is there with staggering 44%, although they have first Morocco, then Spain, then Argentina is there with 36% in front of England, which is at 35%. So that's very, very interesting. And that beneath them, out of those like 4 teams that are not anchors, Norway is there with the highest chance of 17, then Swiss, and then Belgium and Morocco has a very low chance of disrupting France and Spain, according to the odds. So I'm gonna stick with my anchors. So for projected goals, Spain is there. I was thinking maybe of getting Oyarzabal in attack. I would gladly take Yamal if I had more funds. I think I have some feeling that he's in for a breakout game. I mean, everything was there in the other matches, right? Everything was there. Everything was there for him in the other matches. It was just the goals were not there. So Spain and England and then France are projected to score the most amount of goals, and then like Swiss and Morocco are projected to maybe score a goal. That's relatable to the clean sheet percentage. So if you want to take someone from defense, according to odds, that should be from Argentina and from France, maybe Spain. Spain they just didn't concede any goal so far in this tournament, and they must concede sometime. And Belgium has a very good attack. They have mediocre defense, except for Courtois on the goal, but very mediocre defense, but very good and interesting attack because it's not just Doku and De Bruyne and Trossard and Lukaku, but they have De Ketelare, Luke Bacchio, Raskin. Um, so they can make a lot of problems for that Spanish defense that on paper doesn't look that world class, but so far they have been good. Laporte was a bit on the slower end against Portugal. On the other hand, Porto is very offensively minded. That's why I think that maybe there is a slight chance Llorente starts because Porto is really, really attacking. He's great there, but not so much in the defense. Cucurella is great on the both ends, let's say, but Porto is going to go against Trossard. Maybe Doku is going to change position to there. So it's going to be a bit tough for Spain on that side to keep a clean sheet, and that's why I would buy Pedro Porro, but I'm not 100% sure if this is gonna start or at least play more than 60 minutes, which is very important. Okay, I also did some research about defenders. This is a list. It's sorted out based on the median rating on SofaScore. So more than 7. If your rating is more than 7, you get one additional point for that match. So with ratings, of course, the best are 2 guys that didn't concede a goal, Laporte and Kubarsi. Then we have Upamecano, Mazrui from Morocco. One very interesting pick. Akanji, Gueye, Cucurella, and so on and so on. What is interesting by clearances, the first one is Nico Elvedi from Switzerland. Then we have Mechele from Belgium. And then Mazrui, who is, quite an attacking back on Morocco, but with clearances, he's he's gonna get probably 1 point, 2 points even for clearances against France. And then with tackles, he's there, first one, along with Kunde, and then Hakimi and Castagne, uh, and what is that? Upamecano are behind them. Then with interceptions, first one is Upamecano, then we have Laporte, and then Castagne. Castagne is very interesting in those two regards. And then with key passes, which get you every two key passes are 1 point. Hakimi is there like by far the best with 16. And then there are with fives, couple of players like Nico Riley, De Kuipa, Kurela, Kubarsi, which is very interesting because it's a center back. Then in midfield, I'm not sure if you can see this properly, but I'm going to tell you. So the first couple of players by rating are Jude Bellingham, Dembele, Trossard, Rodri, Xhaka, Olise, Tielemans, Pedri. With dribbles, we have Lamine Yamal with 17. He has more dribbles than Olise with 11, Trossard with 10, Bellingham with 9. Then shots on target, we have Bellingham at 8, but then Yamal with 8. So, in these couple of regards, statistically, Yamal is doing very well. He just didn't convert those chances. He didn't convert those dribbles into goals or assists. When with key passes, we have Trossard with 17, Olise and Dembele with 11. Yamal is there with 5. Jude Bellingham is fantastic, 8 again. Tielemans, Pedri also with 8. Ruben Vargas with 9 key passes. Um, then what else is interesting is fouls drawn. Nadoi has 16 fouls drawn. Then Tillemans at 10. Granit Xhaka at 12 fouls drawn. So those are some interesting things because they give you points. Every 3 fouls drawn are 1 point, and so on and so on. And then with forward, a couple of key players there with best ratings. Messi only one above 9. Median rating then Mbappe, Kane, Oyarzabal, Rahimi, but he didn't play many minutes. Dribbles, Messi, Mbappe, shots on target, Messi, Mbappe, key passes, Messi, Mbappe, fouls drawn, Messi, and then Harry Kane and Embolo. And Embolo is there, very good with key passes as well. So he's one very interesting striker to have possibly. Um, Whereas Zabal also with 9 shots on target, but he's not a prolific striker. Um, so yeah, that's a couple of infos for you to think about when you're choosing your teams. Rahim is certainly interesting, just 5 million. He's gonna start, but he didn't get many minutes, but still he managed to grab 4 shots on target, scored a goal or 2 goals even on this tournament. I'm not sure now. He's just owned 1%. Probably that's going to rise because he's going to start to at least like 2%, but still is a differential. Mm, Brill and Bolo is a differential. And I mean, very interesting against Argentina. Their backs are not in the full form. Martinez and Romero are doing well, but it's just leaking on those sides. And Nadoy or Vargas are going to be on those sides. It's going to be a bit complicated. I still need to analyze this a bit deeper. Although by analytics, the Argentina has most chances of keeping a clean sheet, but I just think that no team is, expected to keep a clean sheet. So that's just going to be your luck probably in choosing who you want to go all in. France or Spain or Argentina in defense, England probably no because of Haaland and Odegaard and Nusa, Sorlot, all these great players they have in the um, those great players they have in the attack and the offensive end. So I don't know. I'm still thinking between France and Argentina in that regard, because without Manzambi, Switzerland didn't look so well going forward against Colombia, which is a worse team than Argentina for sure. So maybe Switzerland is probably gonna go and try and do something what they did last time against Argentina. I think it was in 2014 when they reached extra time with the score 0-0, and they did it against Colombia also 0-0 after 90 minutes. They conceded then against Argentina in 100 and something. Di Maria scored, but they didn't concede against Colombia, so probably they're gonna go for that. Just go and try to get this 0-0 score. And if they concede a goal in like 60th, 70th, 80th minute from Argentina, they're probably not gonna have enough power to score on Argentina. So it depends. I mean, of course, you always need a bit of luck for that clean sheet, one or two missed chances from the opponent, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna try probably with clean sheet Argentina or clean sheet France. Yeah. Until the next video, guys. Bye.